Once again, we are back. This is Twisted Nightmare Gaming. We're over here once again at West Orange Comics and Games. We are back with CJ doing another Pokemon deck profile. Probably the main person that we've had doing Pokemon profiles since I started doing Pokemon profiles on this channel. So what we doing today?
We're doing Banet. So one of my favorite Pokemon, Banet, got printed inside a Celestial Storm. And oh my god, is he cool, but oh my god, is he hard to play with. Dark weakness, 190 HP. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to talk about how I made the deck work. So, I would call it probably most apt name is Zoroark, Banet, and Tech cards. So Tech cards are the kings, right? We begin with 4 Zorua. Zorua does nothing but evolve into Zoroark. The Zoroark is probably one of the most impactful cards of our metagame. So we run 4 of those as well. So what does Zoroark do? Let's take a look at him. We have the trade ability. Once per turn, I can just discard a card from my hand and draw 2 more. So fish out all the bad stuff, pull in all the potentially good stuff. Riotous Beating, for a double colorless energy, his attack does 20 damage for each of my Pokemon in play. So if I have a full bench and an active, we're looking at 120 damage per attack with Riotous Beating. But we have ways to amp that number up a little bit. So he's not really much of an attacker, but that trade ability is so good, so consistent. So, Trickster GX never really gets used, and we're not going to use it in this deck, I assure you. So, we're running 2 Shuppet. Shuppet just get us to Banet, so we're running 2 of those guys. Alright, so what does Banet do? Once per turn, I can take a damage counter, if he's my active Pokemon. I can take a damage counter from anywhere on my board and put it anywhere on my opponent's board. 1 damage counter, just 10 damage. Now, it's not a lot of damage at first until you start realizing some pivotal parts here. Riotous Beating does 120. With a Shady move, it does 130, which is enough to knock out nearly every non-EX, non-GX Pokemon in the game that's relevant. On top of that, Psychic typing, great typing, fantastic typing. It hits Psychic for weakness, some Psychic Pokemon for weakness, it hits some Fighting Pokemon for weakness. It's just amazing. Its weakness to Dark is absolutely horrid, because Zoroark is still really good. So when you play this deck, you have to have a little fear in your heart for that Dark weakness. But a resistance to Fighting is great. Buzz Shrine doesn't do too much to it, Buzz Rock doesn't do too much to it, Lycanroc won't hit it very hard. It is good. And at the 1 retreat cost, but 190 HP is garbage. Let's talk about its attack. For every supporter that's in your discard pile, so every dead human, you get 10 damage, right? So this can be done, this can be amped up to 10 times. So if you have 10 supporters, it gains 100 damage. We have 130 damage on Shadow Chant. Shady move turns it to 140 damage. And then probably one of my favorite effects in the game, Tomb Hunt GX, put 3 cards from your discard pile back into your hand. So recycle 3 cards that you might have traded earlier. All of this done with a singular Psychic Energy. So singular Psychic Energy, singular double colorless energy, and we're off to the races on attacks. Alright, now, let's talk about the tech cards. Some people like to use items. We run a Charabish Garbodor, 1/1 line. Trashalanche does 20 damage for every item card in your opponent's discard pile. If they've played 10, that's 200 damage. So it can easily one-shot. It's non-EX, non-GX. It operates with a singular energy. Again, you're going to kind of see that theme here. Tapu Lele GX. Or Tapu Lele Baby. The Psywave attack, 20 damage for every energy attached to my opponent's active Pokemon. If my opponent's playing Rayquaza, and they have 3 energy down, Psywave does 60 damage. With a Choice Band, that's 90. But Rayquaza is weak to Fairy, so it's 180, exactly enough to knock out Rayquaza. So we have one-shot opportunities built into non-EX, non-GX Pokemon. Tapu Koko, 110 HP and free retreat. I don't care about anything else written on the card. It's hard to kill, and if retreats for free, I get a chance to do exactly what I'm trying to set up and do. Baby Buzzwole. If my opponents hit exactly 4 prize cards, which they often will get to if they kill a Zoroark or a Banet before they kill anything else, Sledgehammer will do 30 damage plus 90 more for only a Fighting Energy, right? And that's kind of an important factor here, is we're talking about a Fairy Energy, a Psychic Energy, a Fighting Energy, right, to do these things. But we'll get into how that's teched around. 120 damage with a Choice Band, that's 150. Against a Zoroark, even at 120 damage, that's knockout because he's weak to Fighting. And look, think of all the things that are weak to Fighting. The Buzzwole's going to hit really hard. Lightning Pokemon, right? A lot of Lightning Pokemon are weak to Fighting. Buzzwole's going to be able to easily knock those guys off the board if my opponents did exactly 4 prize cards. Oranguru. Oh! With the Resource Management attack, for any energy, put 3 cards from my discard pile back onto the bottom of my deck. It can Tomb Hunt for me. Now, what's bad about it? We put them on the bottom of the deck. Well, if I find a way to shuffle my deck, they're anywhere in the deck. I trade, I'm drawing 2 cards. Trade again, 2 cards more. Trade again, 2 cards more. And my top deck. I'm going to find that card I put back on the bottom every single time.
I know who he is.
So Orangaroo, amazing card for recycling stuff and getting things mixed around. So we're going to see a lot of this recycling. And we got 2 Tapu Leles because we still do need to search for a supporter every once in a while. Ultra Ball to a supporter is just amazing. It offers so many outs to find exactly the supporter you need. And for this deck, we need to run at least 10 supporters to amp our Bayonet. So you know we're coming in it with huge amounts of supporters. So let's talk about our supporters then. We won 1 Mallow. Search for any 2 cards in the deck, put them on the top. Wait a second. That's lame. It doesn't go straight to your hand. Zoroark's trade ability, though. Discard a card, then you pick up exactly those 2 cards you found. This card in a Zoroark deck tells you can search for any 2 cards in your deck and just slap them in your hand. It's great. 1 Professor Kukui. Draw 2 cards, do 20 more damage. It's very straightforward. Do we care about drawing cards? Sure, whatever. We got the trade ability for that. 20 more damage, though? Bayonet's max damage is 150. Zoroark's max damage upped up with the choice band to 170. Even Bayonet with a choice band, we're looking at 180 damage. These are great numbers to be hitting. 1 fan club. Turn 1, we need some Zorolas. We need a lot of Zorolas. So we're trying to load down as many Zorolas as we can. Pokemon Fan Club does it for us. We only run 2 Cynthia. Welcome to a Zoroark deck. We don't really want to shuffle that hand. If we got a 15 card hand, we don't want to shuffle anything. So just 2 Cynthia. Sometimes we do need the Cynthia early. We Tapu Lele to it often. But other than that, don't need that many Cynthia. 3 Guzma. I need to hit the right target at the right time. I need to hit the Rayquaza with the Tapu Lele. I need to hit the Necrozma with the Garbodor. I need to hit the Buzzwole with the Garbodor. I need to hit the Zoroark with the Buzzwole. To force those perfect situations, I have to use Guzma. So Guzma gets my Pokemon into exactly the situation they need to be in to deal the most damage and actually collect prize cards. We run 2 Acerola. What if your Pokemon's been damaged? Like critically damaged. Acerola, pick it up. Everything attached to it, pick it up as well. So we can heal our Pokemon with Acerola, right? We run 2 Lily. Draw until you have 6. Okay, in the early stages of the game when we're not doing so hot with the draw engine, Lily pulls us into exactly the cards we need and also allows us to hardcore reset the hand. If we've just laid down our Zoroarks and just was like, I don't want to trade these 2 cards, Lily will get us there to where we get cards that are actually tradable. So we use 2 of them for that purpose. Also, turn 1, drawing until you have 8, finesse on a fool with that. Judge. Both you and your opponent shuffle your hand. This is great. If your opponent just Tempested, if they just algorithmed, we have a way to try to force them to play the game in hard mode. And now, the shining glory of this deck. We have Resource Management Orangaroo. We have Tomb Hunt GX. All these cards that recycle to the discard from the discard pile. We play 2 copies of Lusamine. Pick up any 2 Supporter or Stadium from your discard pile, put them in your hand. So why is Lusamine good? Well, the first Lusamine you play, you're picking up 2 of these, or the stadiums that we run. We run Devoured Field, which gives our Pokemon 10 extra damage. We'll get to that, though. So you use your first one, you collect 2. What do you do after that, right? You Lusamine, you go get the first Lusamine you used back, and any supporter with it. So now you have that supporter for the turn, and that Lusamine to go fish back the other Lusamine and a supporter. So it's an infinite supporter loop.
So what you literally just said, and I'm gonna have to tie this into a reference to a couple of cards that I play in like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Go for it.
The Transmigration Prophecy that I run. Transmigration, 2 other cards. Then Transmigration, the other one back, and something else. And when Transmigration, the other Transmigration. And just Transmigration is the other Transmigration.
I'm always getting the supporter I want. And maintaining 10 supporters in the discard pile for Bayonet to be maximum damage. Okay, so for an S-Ball, how do we get these Zoroas out? We get an S-Ball, we slap them down on the bench. How do we get Trubbish, Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, Buzzwole, Orangaroo, Shuppet? How do we get those Pokemon out? Nest Balls. We run 4 because we have so many Pokemon we're trying to get on the field. 4 Ultra Ball. Search for any Pokemon by discarding 2 cards is just too good. 2 Great Ball. Now that's just spicy. Check the top 7 cards. If you find a Pokemon there and you want it in your hand, get it. Put it in your hand. Turn 1, things aren't looking too great. You don't have a supporter in hand. What if you Great Ball on a Tapu? And it's free. No discarding cards. You might whiff it. It whiffs. That's why we don't run 4. But I mean, shoot. Just the plain fact of being able to get that is just amazing. 2 choice band. 30 extra damage. What more can be said? Most decks, you will be doing 30 extra damage. Alright, so Zoroark's numbers now, right? With the Kukui, with the choice band, that's plus 50. We can hit 170 with Zoroark, 180 with Bayonet. With a shady move, we go up to 180 and 190. Now we kill that. Now we kill that Buzzwole. Now we kill that Rayquaza. Although there's better ways to kill Buzzwole in the deck. Just as a reference for 190 HP, Buzzwole's pretty good to point at. Weakness policy. Why? One of the top decks in the game right now is Zoroark Lycanroc. Zoroark is a dark Pokemon. Slaughters that. Lycanroc is a fighting Pokemon. Slaughters that. How do we stop that deck from running us over? It's a 2 weakness policy. Also works well against Brush Shrine, Buzzrock. I mean, legitimately anything running dark or a fighting Pokemon, we're going to be happy to use this weakness policy. Run 1 copy structure. Okay, listen. If my opponent's playing Rayquaza, feasibly, I just want to hit him with this twice. Collect 4 prize cards, they get 2 for killing this. Whatever. I can find a way to kill the last Rayquaza. I'll figure that out. So, Rescue Stretcher kind of allows us to recycle things. We can get the Garbodor recycled and use it for another attack if my opponent's really item heavy. We can recycle the Koko if my opponent kills it. And one of the best loops in the deck, Oranguru with Rescue Stretcher. Put 3 of any card from your discard pile back on the bottom of your deck. So you go in with the Oranguru first. You get 3 of any card from your discard pile. Anything you've used this game already, put it back on the bottom. Your opponent dusks him. He's dead. Next turn, you pick him back up. You put him back on the field, reattach his energy, resource management, and you put the Rescue Stretcher back into the deck, along with 2 other cards back in the deck. And now, you have an infinite loop of Oranguru just recycling all your goods back into the deck. Busted, busted, busted card. Prevents you from also getting Garbadored, as I like to say. Garbodor is also going to get you. Look at all the item cards we run. We run 10 balls alone. That's 200 damage if we use them all. Oranguru, put them back in the deck, and now they do 0 damage. Solid. Solid, solid card. Stadiums, we run 2 Devoured Field. All the Dark and Dragon Pokemon, plus 10 damage. Let's go to that Zoroark damage counter for a second. 120, 130, 160, 180, with the Bayonet Shady move 190. Now he can hit exactly the same damage Bayonet can hit. On top of that, you counter Shrine. On top of that, why did we only run 2? Lusamine can pick these guys back up if they get countered. Your opponent will never get the stadium they want in play. Deadass. Never. It just won't happen. So then, energy. Now you guys know I like to run real low on energy, so we're running 1 psychic energy.
Only 1.
Only 1. We got Garbodor only needs 1, Bayonet only needs 1. Choose which one you want to put it on, it's all good. We run 3 rainbow energy. Do 10 damage to a Pokemon? Wait a second. Do 10 damage to one of your Pokemon? You can shady move that back over to your opponent's field. So Rainbow Energy gets played for free in this deck. And it counts as any energy. It counts as that Fairy, Fighting, Psychic, whatever you needed. So now you see why we run all those different types of Pokemon. Because the Rainbow Energy is free for this deck. And they get to use that super special move they have that's worth that 1 actual color of energy.
Back to New York.
I play 4 double colorless energy. Tapu Lele can attack with it. Tapu Koko can attack with it. Zoroark can attack with it. Shoot, you really want to get crazy in a game? Stack an Oranguru like this and Profound Knowledge that fool. They're confused and they take 60. Choice Band, they take 90. That's a 2-shot on a lot of Pokemon. Just saying. You want to get frisky with... This deck is just so fun to play, honestly. That's really what it comes down to. It's not a particularly complicated deck, I would say. Like, picking up and learning it is very easy. Mastering this deck is on a whole different level because you start seeing these intricate ways to cycle back a Pokemon 2 or 3 times that you only run 1 of. And it allows you to kind of move around the deck very well. Bayonet, Tapu Lele, Garbodor, Buzzwole, these are some of the mainstay attackers in our meta, and we use them all in one deck. With the Zoroark trade ability, and with the ability to infinitely cycle cards back into the deck. Bayonet Tomb Hunt, put them back into your hand. Oranguru with the Rescue Stretcher, infinite recycling loop of putting cards from your discard pile back into your hand. Lusamine, always having the supporter you need in hand and ready to go. This deck it has a huge skill ceiling. It has a huge skill ceiling, even though it's easy to pick up. And I would dare to say it's probably one of the hardest decks to master in our current meta.
I can always order some of the stuff though.
Shout out to whoever that guy was who played it at Philadelphia and made top 4. Thank you for putting this deck on the map, because we all love Bane. We love the fact that it's top 4. Thank you, thank you. Other than that, there you go. That's all I got for the deck.
All right. You got anything else you want to say, bro?
I'll bring up some spicy stuff. You can Tapu Cure in this deck. People are like, well, how do you keep healing against a Shrine deck? Tapu Cure and Shady Move. We're good. We got the healing down. I mean, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't think about it, but having the ability to Tapu Cure inside of your deck can be a big play. I wouldn't say it'd be a big play often, but just having that ability to Tapu Cure is nuts. This is the only thing I think people would miss about this deck, is they wouldn't consider Tapu Cure being there. It's amazing.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing another profile for us, man.
No problem.
I think you're up to what, 6 or 7 now?
Something like that.
And we probably got a few. We got a few more coming up because a new pack is coming out.
Yep, you're gonna see Blacephalon, Lost March, Sceptile, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Appreciate you doing another profile for us, man. You got anything else you want to add, man?
Yeah, like, subscribe, and hit the bell, man.
Appreciate that.
That's how this stuff gets done. That's how this stuff gets done.
You have anything you want to add on the Star 10-3?
You should comment on the video too.
That too.
Yeah, make sure you like the channel, subscribe, ring the bell so that you can be notified of any other feature profiles or any other feature videos that Twisted Nightmare Gaming does. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel, LunarStar103. Make sure you ring the bell so that you can be notified of any other feature videos that I will do.
Yeah, it's not.
She hit that right on the head.
Ring the bell, man. Just ring the damn bell. It ain't that hard. You just click it.
Alright, again, this is Twisted Nightmare Gaming. Again, we're at West Orange Comics and Games. Y'all catch y'all later.